Hello, everyone. Sorry I've been away for a while. Basically had to move and do all that fun stuff. So sorry it's been a while. So trying to get back in the groove to restart recording again. Today we're going to talk about, and I'm going to follow up with a session that I started um, previously in another video where we were talking about installing printers. Now I want to follow up with the deploying printers with group policy. So let's get started with that. So basically what we're going to do here is we're just going to create the group policy object first, and then we're going to go to print management, um, and then you will want to deploy this with group policy. It's a fairly simple process overall. And then next thing I want to cover is security groups for printers. Sometimes you might have multiple people using the same computer, and you don't want certain groups or certain people to have access to a printer for whatever reason. There's a multitude of reasons to have this, and we'll go step by step here, exactly what we're going to cover today. Now, I want to say that this is a follow-up. Again, I want to say this is a follow-up video from my previous video, so you should already have the print server role already installed, and the name of that previous video is Install Print Server Role on Windows 2016 and configure the print server role. When I go to post this video, I will include a link so that you know if you need to install a print server role, you can go ahead and install that and go ahead and take care of that. But you have to have that installed first before you can go ahead and deploy printers with group policies. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go and create the group policy objects. Let's go into group policy management first. And let's go ahead and create a new object. I will name this object with the correspondence of the printers. In production environments, it is impossible to know which printer you are going to add, because the more and more printers that you have, the more and more harder it is to keep track of who has access to what, and what model it is. What like say you're a Xerox or shop, for example, and you only use Xerox. Well, the problem is you're going to have multiple different models typically in the same shop, and it's going to be extremely difficult to keep track of what printer and what location they are. And that's another thing too, is another thing is you can add the location in your naming here so that you know where this printer is at. If it's a smaller environment, it's not that big of a deal, but typically bigger environments, it gets really tricky. So let's say this Brother printer was on the second floor. I would want to put second floor on this printer. Now, if there's multiple printers on that second floor, then you'll have to say, well, it's, maybe you want to go a little bit further and say it's in the hallway, for example. I don't know. There's many different ways that you can name these, so you know which one is which when you're creating these. But for this purpose of this exercise, let's go ahead and just create the object and just name it the printer here that I have. And basically that's all you want to do right now. You don't want to do anything to this GPO. All you want to do is just name it. So now I'm just going to minimize this. I'm going to go into Tools and Print Management, and then I'm going to right click on oh, excuse me, wait a second here. I need to right click on this printer. You need to go through your server here, right click on this printer and say deploy with group policy. And then once that is done, you'll have this little pop-up box that comes up, and then you want to click browse on the button and then click the all tab, and this is where you should find your GPO that you just created. So go ahead and click on that, and then I am going to use, for the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to use users. Again, you can do it either way. You can do it either by computers or users. I prefer, at least in this exercise, to use users. The only thing with the computers is the user would have to restart their workstation if you apply it to the machine. If it's the user, then all they have to do basically is log off and log on. I have found out in the past, sometimes you still have to restart the computer for a group policy to take effect, especially with these deploying the printers. That's not always the case, but in certain cases that's you have to do that. So let's go ahead and add that, and we'll go ahead and click the add button. And then now we want to click apply, and then we'll just click OK here and click OK. Now we need to go into group policy again and add this printer to the OU that you want to have them apply it to. So let's go up here. The user that I am going to use, as you've seen earlier in my PowerPoint, that I was going to have G.I. Jane. Well, G.I. Jane is a part of customer service. So we want to go under the user's OU and then link an existing GPO, and then we're going to click on brother as the printer that I added earlier. Again, it can be any model, any type of printer, and click OK. And then now I'm going to switch over to my Windows 10 machine. Let's check to see if the printer is already there. Okay, so the printer's not there, so let's go ahead and run a GP update /force. Alright, let's see if I can get G.I. Jane to show up with the proper printer. Let's run the GP update force first. Alright, and let's have Jane log out. Then log back in. And as you see that the printer is there now after I had Jane log out and log back in. And let's do a printer test. Off. Alright, I can hear my printer printing. Let me go grab that and I will show you that it printed successfully. Alright, so now that you've seen that Jane can print, let's go one step further here. I'll close this out. Let's go back to the server. Now we're going to test the group policy, or test the security groups, excuse me. So let's minimize group policy. So right here's printers. Let's go into security groups, or excuse me, go into properties and then security on the tab. And as you can see, I don't have anybody added there, so let's go ahead and add customer service. And now you can see that customer service has been added. So we have this scenario, which I'm gonna bring this screen back over. That says we're gonna have G.I. Jane be part of customer service, while John Doe does not have access. So let's go ahead and do that scenario. So let's test. Let's go into our theory on security groups. So let's log in as John Doe. And again, this is the same machine, so we're going to have two users from two different departments using the same machine. So let's go and go to control panel. Let's view devices and printers. As you can see, that printer is not there. And if we go up here and if we even try to print this, it will not be there. see that automatically defaults to PDF, which tells me that it's working correctly. So this user will not have access to the Brother printer. The only way they would have access is if I take that printer and put it to that user's OU. So since Joe is a part of the accounting group or accounting OU, you would put that in the accounting OU if you wanted him to have access to the printer. But since he doesn't have access to this printer, it will never show up in his profile. So everything is working correctly as it should be. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to leave comments in the below in the section, or you can always email me as well. I hope that I was able to cover this section thoroughly and successfully. Thank you, and have a good day.